Every style of training has its advantages and disadvantages. Powerlifters like using angles and straight lines to justify looking like a refrigerator and being able to move one too. Bodybuilding uses 20 different varieties for your biceps. That way you're stuck spinning your wheels and not seeing progress on anything. Strand pulling is not without its disadvantages as well. After all, there's no axial loading going on and no central nervous system fatigue building up. Felt, brother. Many of the chest expanders of our current day weigh less than 5 pounds, and where the resistance lies in is stretching the bands. With weights, the contraction of the muscle starts at the very beginning. That's why you read accounts of certain strand pulling athletes such as Fred Roland and Belvedere Del Monte, who were quote-unquote mediocre at weightlifting. Quote, years ago, there was a strong man from Argentina, Belvedere Del Monte by name, who had developed a pair of wonderful arms, principally through the use of expanders. Not more than a half a dozen men in the world, it is believed, could stretch his expanders. He concentrated so much on arm development and cable pulling strength that he started neglecting his lower body, that he only had 21.5-inch thighs, not much larger than a strong man's arm. He had only mediocre ability at handling weights because the largest and most powerful muscles of the body, the legs and lower back, had been neglected. Unquote. That is from Big Arms, How to Develop Them by Bob Hoffman in Chapter 14. In reference to Belvedere Del Monte, Mac Batchelor, a early pioneer in the sport of arm wrestling, had this to say about him. Mac Batchelor. Look at that. Look at him. And his name, too. Gosh, this guy's amazing. All right, I'm done miring. Now onto the quote. Belvedere Del Monte, a Hercules of Argentina who spent years stretching cables and is a champion in heavier classes, possesses a bulging 17 3/4 bicep. Unquote. Now, you guys might be like, 17-inch arms? That's nothing. We're talking pre-steroid era, and we're talking only strand pulling. So, you don't take steroids, and you only strand pull to get 17, almost 18-inch arms. And I'm sure pumped up he was over 18. You try that. Here is what Mr. Hoffman said about the legendary Fred Roland. Quote, Fred Roland was considered by a great many European authorities to be the most magnificently developed man who existed in their time. He had a most unusual muscular development and muscular separation, was in fact a human anatomical chart. He concentrated for years upon cable training and became recognized world's champions of the cable training art. Cables accounted for the truly remarkable upper body development he possessed. His cable pulling did not give him the ability to lift heavy weights, and he was so chagrined at times through being bested by smaller men with not nearly as impressive development that he took up the regular practice of weight training and became a successful lifter. This is also from, or unquote, but this is also from Big Arms and How to Develop Them by Bob Hoffman, Chapter 14. So what's the point? This dude is the best looking guy all these people have ever seen, but he can't weightlift. Well, it's the exact same thing as saying a calisthenics guy is just immediately going to be a really good powerlifter. So the law of specificity is at play here. So what you practice is what you're going to be good at. And that works with all of these styles of training. But what if we can combine the two? What if we can do a successful combination of both? And that's where the jettison technique comes from. And this technique is exactly 50 years old. It was coined in 1975, and we're going to give it a shot today. And we're going to go over the form and technique in order to do the jettison technique. The jettison technique, but what is that? Here it is. This technique was found in the Hercules bodybuilding system by Ernest F. Cottrell. This 1975 system consisted of 5 courses that were ordered by mail. the jettison technique along with the tricep cutature can be found in course 4 and 5 respectively. Now, what this technique is adding dumbbell to the chest expander. Now, me just looking at exercises, I'm conditioned enough to know how it's going to feel. And for the jettison technique to work, it needs to be on movements with the chest expander that could be axial loaded, just like the dumbbell curl as you see here. And I will say it was more of a challenge than I thought it would be, because now you have axial load plus the tensile strength load that the chest expander adds to it. And the technique requires 8 reps with the dumbbell, immediately followed by failure work with either the dumbbell still in your hand or the chest expander still in your hand. So it's technically a drop set. The other move we're doing today is an overhead extension with the dumbbell. And this one took me quite a few tries to get down. So one arm is down as you see there, and the other arm is doing a tricep extension. You can do this with the chest expander without the weight. And you're seeing me question my life here because I tried a few reps and it just didn't feel right in my hand. So I had to make sure that the chest expander was on the side that's on my thumb, and then the dumbbells on the side that where my fingers are. That way, when it moves and rotates, it's moving and rotating. That way you can actually do the movement, because it still requires rotation, if that makes any type of sense. But you got to play around with it is what I mean by all this. But yeah, this was very challenging as well. Very challenging on the traps, very challenging on the neck, very challenging on the triceps. It was work. And again, I only have 20 kilograms of tensile strength on the expander, and I only had a 5-pound dumbbell in my hand. And this technique requires only to use 5-pound to 10-pound dumbbells anyway. Yes, you absolutely can add weightlifting along with the chest expander in the same exact workout, doing the exact same movement. And just demonstrating them was very, very challenging. So I can only imagine doing a whole workout, multiple sets, minimal rest. I'm going to add a few of those sets into my chest expander 30-day challenge workouts coming up, because that was very, very fun. It's nice not requiring a massive, huge dumbbell. And I wanted to mention something real quick about the dumbbell I used. It was the spin lock dumbbells. And those are nice because you can set the weight just outside the chest expander handle. That way you're not fumbling around, the big clunky part of the weight, touching the expander and making it feel awkward. So that helped quite a bit. Please do me a solid. If you like the chest expander workouts, knowledge, tips, tricks, please give me a like and subscribe. It does help quite a bit. I'm trying to get a lot of this info out to you guys with a lot of help with people in my back pocket too. So you guys are all very much appreciated, and I will see you guys next time.